And we are back. And those of you that are kind of looking at the screen, it like looks similar to the last time I left off. Yeah, it might look kind of similar, but we're back with more choices. But obviously, for me to make the right choice, obviously we're gonna have to go to one of these places to continue to with Slavia. I have kind of made a suggestion of who I'm gonna do after. From what I've read, people say that Lena's route is one of the better ones, so I'll probably just save her for last out of the four main girls between Alyssa. So I'll do a flip. I'll do a coin flip between Ilyana and Alyssa for next, and see where it goes from there. You guys can also kind of chime in if you want, and got to give me some suggestions if you want to see Lena beforehand. Just let me know. We'll see on it either way. Yeah, because I pretty much like all the characters equally. Miku apparently, from what everybody says, is a lot of people get scared of her. Well, obviously, since she's not Hatsune, she doesn't. It's even though she kind of resembles that Miku and looks a lot like her. Obviously, the Miku in this game is different than Hatsune Miku. Because Hatsune's more of a tsundere. She's more, a little bit different like that. She would really, be all that scary and kind of do bad things for other people, towards other people, I should say, kind of thing. So, but I need to see Miku's route for myself a little bit because I mentioned somebody I was kind of talking with beforehand how I kind of do kind of have a thing for crazy chicks somewhat. So I would have to see her route for myself to see what it's about. But I don't know. I guess only time will tell on that. So, but it's going to be a while before I even get to her route anyway. So, yeah. So. And you need to unlock a few good routes, do a few good endings anyway to kind of get her from what I've read. I don't know as far as the walkthrough goes anyway. Okay, so with that, let's get into this. And like I said, I'm gonna do these randomly, so bear with me while I do this. And yeah, I'll be right with you guys. Okay, I kind of know which one to pick. It's kind of weird how they do these so randomly like this, but where they don't really, even the walkthrough sometimes doesn't really give you suggestions on where to go sometimes, which is kind of funny. And I've looked up a lot of guides. It's kind of weird on that. But we're gonna go to the infirmary, obviously. Uh, I feel like visited the infirmary too often recently. Yeah, obviously the last few parts, but that's only because the choices that I made kind of put you on that path, didn't it? But what can I do? That's how things pan out. I sighed and knocked on the door. Come in. The nurse said with a trace of a sing-song accent. Good afternoon. Olga Dmitrionov has sent me to get some. I hesitated slightly. Yeast. Sure. She gave me a broad smile. It's just that I don't have any. Pioneer. How so? She said that. Well, I had some, but now there's none left. I didn't even bother asking why she had it in the first place. Well, don't you worry. You could have some aspirin, for example. Last time I thought maybe she might cut off his leg and amputate it, kind of thing. Apparently, she said it was something to where she didn't have to do that. Still, the idea that that thought even came up is kind of like, okay, what were you thinking anyway? I don't know. Then there's bits about the screwdriver. I was like, what was that about? That could be of some use to me actually. Where do I get it then? I sighed. Take this. She opened the drawer and pulled out some kind of bottle. I take a closer look. Ostenkinskoy, I'm not Russian, so I can't pronounce this word, was a well-known brand of cheap beer in USSR. Really? I do know that some Russians, just like, Europeans can drink, but I don't know. It's kind of like I don't really know beer like that, and I was never really a beer person anyway. Doesn't matter the beer anyway. Took a closer look. It was Ostekinisko beer, and I probably butchered that name anyway. What's the matter? Beer is also a fermented product. She gave me a deep gaze. Nobody would even notice. She had a point, but everything just looked so grotesque to me that I couldn't find anything to say. Are you sure? Absolutely. Okay then. The bottle clearly wouldn't fit into the pocket of my shirt. Well, thanks. I'm almost shyly leaving me in front of me. Well, beer certainly could replace yeast. Even my limited knowledge of chemistry and biology was enough to accept this. But, oh man, generally walking around with this bottle in my hands looked like a silly idea to me, so I decided to bring it over to Nicholas' cabin and hide it there. But I had to reach it somehow without anybody noticing the beer. I hid the bottle under my shirt. Huh. And everything would have been fine until Slayva called out to me at the square. Go figure. Actually, she sprang out from behind me so suddenly that I even gave a start. How's it going? What exactly? Yes, that's the ingredients. So you know already. Yes, I do. Slayva smiled. Yeah, it's going all right, I answered, trying not to give away my unrest. And what do you have there? She pointed at the bottle sticking out from under my shirt. This. She got me. It's nothing. I blushed with a silly giggle. It's time to go. Huh. I was almost running, leaving the square with the puzzled Slayva behind. It's great that she is one of those people who don't ask unnecessary questions, but there are people in this camp who like nothing better than to poke their noses into other people's business. Passing the pioneers' cabins, I stumbled upon Rihanna. Oh boy. What are you hiding there? She gave me one of her cheeky looks. I always say, like, I don't know if I ever mentioned this before, but it's like, every time it's like she has a reaction, this face is what she makes a lot. It's like, I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to mean. Or, like, it's kind of like, is she always, like, surprised? Is it, like, this surprise look? I don't know. It's like, because she does this for, like, all the time. It's like, almost every expression, this is her face. I don't know. It's kind of funny, though. I thought there was no point in denying anything, so I replied in a provocative manner. That's none of your business. I'm a psycho officer, bearing a message to headquarters. What? That's certainly a big message. Wow. I was carrying the bottle at waist height, so I was slightly embarrassed. Oh, goodness. You want some help? I'll deal with it on my own. I walked past her confidently and proceeded on my way. To my surprise, she didn't say anything, nor try to pursue me. There was nobody over in Dimitri Nalgo's cabin, so I successfully managed to stuff the bottle under my bed. Once I got outside, I sighed with relief. Really, I couldn't believe that I would ever worry that much about a single bottle of beer, like I was back in high school. It's a good thing it's safe now. Even if somebody finds it, I'll claim that it's not mine. I can always think up a suitable excuse for my enormous experience. Oh, so there really wasn't anything after that, apparently. Well, so the library, because I did some tinkering beforehand, and apparently that has to do with Alyssa. And since I'm not quite ready to do Alyssa's route right now, we're not really going to do that. So we're going to go to this direction, see where that goes. Feels like I've gone through more things today than all the previous days combined. Thus, approaching the clubhouse, I had even forgotten to think about how awkward it must be to look for sugar there. I'd imagine. What in the world have you got going there? Well, they did mention about some type of robot. It's like, looks like it's got boobs. Is this some, what's going on with this? You know, it's like, okay, is Russia thinking a little bit about Japan? It's like, because Japan's usually the one that kind of comes up with ideas like this idea, right? With robot type, you know, I don't know. Shuriken Electronic were enthusiastically building something. They were so busy that they didn't even notice me. I looked closely. I mean, when you think about it, the exception of Miku, everybody else in this camp is Russian. Miku's Japanese, technically, because obviously, you know, Yeah, because the name Miku is Japanese, so just kind of letting you guys know on that. I don't know. It was some kind of robot. Yeah, I see that. Phone, stop that. Jeez. Or at least the body of one. Moreover, this robot was female and had animal ears. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? But you got to recall that it wasn't electronic that was down in the sewer, whatever that part that they were in back at the old camp. It was this guy here. You know, I sometimes forget his name. Shurik, I think, where he was kind of freaked out. My guess is he already saw Eula, and probably explains the ears up here. I don't know. I didn't want to make up theories about purpose of such a device for luminaries of camp cybernetics. Even though the design looked practically workable, I had my doubts about this robot ever being able to conquer Earth, or at least being able to do anything on its own. Never know, but they seemed to be enjoying the process more than the end result itself. And that was something we shared, even though I didn't want to admit it. On the other hand, they weren't afraid of possible failure, criticism, or jokes. They were working towards their goal without paying attention to others, who would call it unrealistic or even absurd. Oh, it looks like I'm truly comparing them to luminaries of the sciences. Hey guys, I greeted them uncertainly. Oh, Semyon, come in. We're always glad to see you. I was actually already inside. You know, sorry for what happened yesterday. I barely remember anything, but yeah, go figure. But somehow you're making a robot that kind of has animal ears. You obviously saw something that maybe you don't want to remember, but it's like you'd rather forget kind of thing, right? Is that it? But, well, never mind, it's okay. And what brings you to our humble abode? Electronic looked at me shyly. Sometimes I feel that he makes such a face when he knows something about the other person, something he can use in the right moment. Sugar. I need sugar. What? An image from an ancient video game yesterday came into my mind where some kind of unit, like a builder or something, cried out with all of its 5 pixel stature, gold. We need more gold. We got it, said Electronic calmly. Why would you want it? I felt that I shouldn't explain to Shirk that they want to bake a cake for him. I shouldn't spoil the surprise. I don't know. Olga Dmitrievna told me to get some. Okay, hang on. Electronic disappeared from behind the door into the next room. And why do you have sugar here? Why not in the canteen? When the food truck came last time, it was the last thing to unload. And given that our building, it is the closest one to the entrance, they decided to leave it here to save some effort. That's reasonable, isn't it? The door opened, revealing Electronic hauling a huge bag behind him. I really don't know what the size of the cake will be, but that was obviously too much sugar. Well, thanks, but I don't need it all. But where would we put it? Electronic gave me a surprised look. We don't have a place for it. You asked for sugar, so take it. And it seems that that previous smile of his wasn't there without a reason. Maybe you'll help me then. It's not that far to carry. We're busy. He pointed his hand at the robot. Yeah, I mean, you're making me curious about what you're building back here. I don't know. It's like kind of interesting, though. Somewhat. I gazed at Shurd. Still doesn't explain how you end up down in the old camp. What drew you there? Something obviously drew your butt there. Because why would you go there? It's like, and you stayed in the same spot and only moved until they got there. I don't know. Or at least found him anyway. That's kind of funny how that works. He owed me, after all. He hesitated and looked away in shame. I sighed, took the bag and headed to the door. Thanks anyway, I said at parting, exerting myself. But I didn't make it too far. Just after a mere 20 meters, I had to put the bag down to have a rest. I had no idea how much it weighed, but it felt like more than 20 kilos. On the other hand, it was just 200 meters to the canteen. On the other hand, even such a distance with this payload on my shoulder, or alternately in my hands or on my legs, or under my arm, or even on my head, looked impossible for me to cover. And as I resigned myself to move in minor sprints with prolonged pauses between them, so I could get there by night at least, I heard a voice behind me. Maybe I can help you. Oh boy, I saw Lena in front of me. I don't think you can. It was one of those moments when I felt painfully how dramatic I was out of shape. I can bring a hand cart. A hand cart? Why didn't I think of that myself? Yeah, that would be great. Wait here. I'll be right back. My goodness, that's the first expression I think we've seen from you in a while, right? Never seen that expression. But then again, I've only been trying to get affection points mostly for Slavia because I've been trying to focus on one girl at a time. So it's like, at all the times that he's interacted with her, she's only ever been like socially awkward towards him, right? This is the first expression she's actually been, and it wasn't even from a choice. That's kind of funny on that. He smiled and ran in the direction of the square. What would I do without her? I don't know. It's good that Lita isn't always that shy. Can take the initiative sometimes. That doesn't really mean that she ain't. I started to think. She seemed quite unusual now, with no trace of shyness on her face, and actually the complete opposite, smiles and compliments. I think you're selling her a little short, aren't you? Because you're not even on her route. The offer of help wasn't something extraordinarily by itself, but getting it from me. A few minutes later, she came back without a smallish handcart. I put the bag down on it. Thanks. Don't mention it. She blushed and looked down. Oh, the Lena we all know is back. So, I'll go then. Yeah, see you. Thank you again. I shouted at her. Sometimes I feel like there are two different people living inside of Lena. No, just the one. You'll get to know her more when I make the choices when I decide to go for her route, Semyon. Until now, she'll be a complete mystery to you, and you won't be able to figure her out. But the second one is confident, happy, and sometimes even bold. Only appears when she talks to me. Or am I making things up again? I don't know. I thought that it would be better if I get all the ingredients at once, so I headed to Olga's cabin with the handcart. Oh boy. So we do have to go here anyway. My goodness. I didn't think I was going to have to do all these choices like that. This is what I mean. It's like, okay, you got to go to like so many places, and it's like, why did it make you do that anyway? But there is a choice that's going to come up with Alyssa's route that I'm going to be declining, so just prepare for that. If any other place on the cake ingredient list made at least some sense to me, then flour from the library made none. I thought hard about who would put it in the library and why I couldn't find any sane explanation after all. Given Xenia's harsh nature, I better knock first. Maybe. Open. Xenia peered at me closely from behind her glasses. What do you want? Don't think anything weird, but I didn't want to look like an idiot and decided to explain things carefully. I need some flour. Olga Dmitrievna said that it's here. I understand that it sounds strange to keep the flour in the library, but I was sent to you, and it's needed for a cake to celebrate Shurik's rescue. Yes, I have the flour. What's so strange about it? Xenia replied with surprise. At that second, I felt like I'd been hit on the head with a heavy weight and lost the ability to understand anything at all. Flour in the library? Good point. Sure, what's so strange about it? Nothing? We're in Wonderland. I'm Alice. Now I'm gonna eat that magic mushroom and I'll be back home. Stop thinking with the imagination, Semyon. You're not in Wonderland, man. And there's no Alice in this game. Unless if you're confusing Alyssa. Her name is Alyssa. Yeah, not Alice. That's funny. Hey. Yeah? I was daydreaming. You do that a lot, don't you? Wait here, I'll be back. She disappeared behind the bookshelves while I folded my hands and started waiting. In the later, the sound of the trap door groaning on its hinges reached me. Hey, you need some help? I inquired loudly. I'll deal with it. Xenia barked out to me. She seems to be in the basement, so I'll have to wait a little. Okie dokie. A few minutes passed, but Xenia still hadn't returned. I was starting to get worried when the door was suddenly flung open and Alyssa came into the library. Go figure. After he mentioned Alice, Alyssa shows up. How does that work? She looked surprised too, seeing me here. What are you doing here? Am I not allowed to be here? I said rudely to her. Alyssa was clearly a bit overwhelmed. What do I care? Of course you do, because you're a tsundere, or actually, more like a kudere, because, I don't know, you got that scary eye that sometimes she does on occasion. I don't know. She snorted and headed to Xenia's table. And why are you here again, then? Alyssa measured me with her eyes carefully and almost opened the mouth to say something, but then seemed to change her mind and turned away, hiding her hands behind her back. Returning her book, I blurted the first thing off the top of my head. It's none of your business. With that kind of look, sure it is. I mean, maybe not, but I don't know. When you say it like that, it doesn't sound like you're serious. Now you're actually making it like you want him to be curious, don't you? Your route will be coming, don't worry. We'll take care of you in that. She replied with a hint of hesitation. What book is it? Alyssa was silent. Oh, come on, let me see it. I wonder what Miss High Voltage Keep Away reads. What? It's none of your business. Her voice was even less confident. Okay, I don't insist or anything. In fact, I was quite interested to find out what Alyssa was reading. Moreover, I was quite amused to see a book in her hands. TVs, movies, or a computer, if one were available here, all these things seem to be much more appropriate entertainment for a girl like her. Oh, really? So you always kind of just assume what somebody might be doing in their spare time, right? It's like, I barely watch TV. I like that on occasion, Movies, yeah, it's like, I have seen ones, but I'm not really the type that kind of rushes out to go. And who isn't on their computer? It's like, if you're not on your computer, you're on your phone kind of thing. Like what I'm doing now. Like, I don't know. Although in my case, since I don't have a laptop anymore, the closest thing I have to that nowadays is a Chromebook. It's kind of like, it's not exactly a laptop, but it kind of is at the same time. Yeah. Boy. But she had a book instead. What do we have here? Pretty sure. Day 5. Don't try to snatch a book out of her hand. So this is actually kind of rude, but we're actually going to do that. My curiosity won. I struck at the right moment when Alyssa was looking away from me and snatched the book. Oh boy. Ouch! What kind of face is that? I thought maybe she'd have more of a pissed off look, but it's like, well, he did snatch it. It's like, I did say it's a little bit kind of a dickish thing. That some of the choices that I mentioned before, it's like, okay, you want me to do that? It's like, no, you can still get her the point, but but I'm trying to focus on one girl. How are you going to be able to concentrate on all these girls while you're putting affection points to try to get with one? It'd be impossible to do. Although, somebody was telling me that you can basically make different saves. You know how much time consuming that would be to go through different points, right, for each girl, and make sure that each one of them has a positive for their route. And while that may seem like it might sound easy to sound as it sounds on paper, actually doing that and part of your brain kind of remembering, because then what happens when you go to fire up the save, right? You have to remember that there's other routes that you're trying to do, and it's like, okay, so I'm doing it even though this visual novel plays different, a little different than some others that I played, it still, for the most part, plays out in routes most of the time. And you're better off just focusing on one rather than doing a whole bunch anyway. So it's like, because that's, I don't know, my anxiety would just spike through the roof and I wouldn't be able to finish it. That's just the way it would go for me. But still, the choices I always say kind of make you laugh a little bit because it's like, who would do that? It's like, but he was kind of already curious about a book she was reading. It was more like, okay, but you wouldn't actually do that, would you? You know. So in this case, taking a book from her is not good. But this face though is kind of funny from seeing her. She has grown on me a little bit. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting when I do her route. See how that's gonna go. She screamed. Oh boy, yeah, there it is. That's the face that I'm talking about. It gets pretty scary. I don't know. It's like I usually, you get Thunder Rays. It's kind of like they get this kind of look once in a while, but it's usually not that creepy. It's more like this girl. It's more like you snatch something, like she's gonna do something wicked. You never know. Like that wicked eye, right? And the following second, her face took on such an expression that it made me question my decision. Of course! I'm about to die, at least I will know what for. No, it's more like this girl's probably. She'll do something, but it's more like, I don't know. Not quite what you're thinking, though. But I would say, yeah, you never know. Come on, phone. I held a copy of Gone with the Wind in my hands. Coincidence that it was a book that Lita. Yeah, I was just thinking that, too. I was so astonished that I completely forgot about my immediate death. Is it interesting? Yeah. And you're blushing. Ah, and what exactly book was you reading, anyway? Does make me curious of what it was. Answered without any enthusiasm, blushing. Okay then. I handed the book back to her. Alyssa threw it on the table and left the library quickly without looking at me. Wow. So human things aren't alien to her. Of course not. In the end, she too was a girl. After a quick review of everything that just happened, I concluded that there was actually nothing that strange. Finally, Xenia's deep groan rang out, reaching each and every corner of the library. Grab it. I passed by the bookshelves and beheld the perspiring librarian sitting near the trapdoor leading into the basement and with a small sack next to her. Well, they might have some sort of a storehouse there and there. Thanks. I took the sack and left the library. Thank goodness it wasn't too heavy, so I carried it down to Olga Dmitrievna's cabin without too much effort. Finally, it seems that everything had been collected. I took the hand cart with sugar outside and put the sack with the flour in it, followed by the 2 baskets of strawberries that somehow fitted in between. And the beer was hidden under my shirt just in case. The day was coming to its end, so I had to hurry as cake itself will need some time to bake. Of course, I'd rather enjoy lying down, closing my eyes and getting a decent sleep, but I just couldn't let Olga Dmitrievna down. Indeed, after all the trouble that I'd gone to, I even felt personally responsible for the success of this event. Coming to the square, I stopped for a moment to catch my breath. It wasn't that the cart that was heavy, it ran smoothly without any noticeable effort required. It was just that any physical exertion caused pain to me now. Both the physical and mental one. I sat down on the bench and closed my eyes for a moment. Oh boy, what's that? I didn't really give a damn who it was. Probably just a fellow pioneer girl taking an interest in an unfamiliar companion in distress. Who is this gonna be? What are you talking about? I asked her tiredly. She didn't reply. There's the ingredients for a cake. Do you like cakes? I don't know. What? You never tried cake? I don't know. Obviously, the girl didn't get what I was talking about, but it didn't surprise me at that moment. I really wasn't interested in the conversation, so I was so tired that I had zero intention of classifying external distractions and tagging them as either common or uncommon. I see. Come down to the canteen later and have a bite. Really? Really? And what are they made of? What? I asked it differently. These. Cakes. Well, some flour, some sugar, various fillings. Now that's a strange question. Doesn't she know what cakes are made of? I'm curious who you're talking to. And you have it all here. Yeah, sort of. And sugar? And sugar. Could you lend me a little? What for? I thought it was over the top. A sudden gust of wind made me grab the cart and instinctively open my eyes. Oh, nobody was there. Am I daydreaming? No, I think somebody was talking to you, wasn't it? I noticed, though, that the sugar sack was untied and a small heap of it had poured out. I bet you because he was laying there, just decided to have his eyes closed. And being that I haven't really seen Eula yet, I'm going to guess that's who that was in front of him. But she just didn't do anything. Just kind of snuck up on him while he wasn't looking, kind of thing. Because she's the only one that they haven't revealed yet, obviously. You know, but it's kind of funny. And going back to the very first choice of the game, I don't even know what I picked now. It's like, I can't remember if I picked a yes, follow the voice, or picked a no thing. I don't even remember now. It's like, the first part of this Let's Play, when I first started the game, that was the one choice that kind of threw me off, because one of them mentioned the no, don't follow the voice has to do with Miku, and I think following the voice had to do with Eula. But I couldn't remember at that time. I didn't really know what the choice really entailed, whether or not, or the guy was even dreaming at all at that first stage. But somehow he ended up going to this camp anyway, so it's like, okay. I didn't really think it would matter since neither girl was unlocked right away. So I was like, okay. So I just chose one at random and it just kind of went from there. Yeah. Could it be that she was scared by the wind and ran away? Having fixed the sack, I got up from the bench and continued on my challenging strawberry way. There wasn't a single person near the canteen. No wonder. Dinner was still an hour away. I brought the hand cart to the rear exit and handed the foodstuffs to the camp cook. She must have already been told what to do with them, as she gave me such an unpleasant look. I'm not sure how long it takes to bake a cake, but it seems she had to hurry. I just wanted to relax for the remaining time up until dinner. In short, I was so tired that I just sat on the steps and waited. Okay. My eyes closed themselves. I guess I got so tired throughout the day that I didn't even notice how someone came up to me until they patted me on the shoulder. Oh boy. Oh, wow. Since you're not really a hidden character, you've already been revealed since, what, the second day? Yeah, she's the only one you don't see in the first day. So it's kind of weird how that goes, but yeah. Hi. Miku was standing before me. And those of you that subscribed recently and you guys are following this part here, I kind of try to give Miku kind of her robot, I'm not really good at, like Vocaloid kind of, I don't know, voices, so I try to give her one based on that. It's not really all that great, so just bear with it. Yeah. I didn't need a mirror to imagine the expression of skepticism and annoyance on my face. Oh, excuse me. I must have interpreted you. No problem, I was just sitting here. Ah, alright then. Miku beamed with a smile. I was just coming to dinner. I thought that it's time already, and then it appeared to me that it's too early. But I decided to just check just in case. Maybe it's not me who is mistaken, but the clock is. Well, not the clock. Clocks can't be mistaken. It's just that I misread it. She seemed to be ultimately confused and fell silent. She still talks just as fast as that Miku, but, I don't know. I can't really... Come on! Phone! Stop that! I hate when you get little random interruptions and things are telling you, okay, I got it, game. You didn't need to really throw me an interruption like that. Yeah. Those of you saw that, yeah, Linda Lightbringer is another game I'm doing on the channel, but that's kind of random. Just throw that in the middle of that. It's like, and I have my notifications blocked off, so I don't have stuff like that popping up. It's kind of weird, but some games like that, they just, weird how that works. But let's go back to it. Oh, that's great. Now, and I'll sit here and wait for you if you don't mind. Frankly speaking, I do mind. I have some matters to attend to. We've been blowing her off quite a bit. Cause yeah, there's only maybe one choice that they had with her. Was the cleaning up something, and yeah, I declined it. I don't know. I stood up quickly and left without saying goodbye, ignoring Miku as I always did, while she screamed something after me. Good lord. A minute later, I got to the square and sat on the bench with the firm intention of finding a quiet and safe place here to wait for dinner. I think this is the first time in the last 4.5 days when I felt like this. I wasn't just irritated because some of this insignificant details, but indeed I was really angry. I completely stopped caring about where I am and why am I here. I don't care about how to get out either. What's driving me mad is that I always have to carry out some stupid task given by our camp leader, and it's always me who gets into stupid situations and sometimes even ends up looking like a clown. If all of this is some alien trick or a plot of the universal mind, they better consult me with their psychiatrist. My goodness. I gritted my teeth and clenched my fist. And most annoying thing is that everything that happens seems to happen by itself somehow. I'd be happier not having to carry around bags of sugar that weigh a ton, but I had no choice at all. I mean, any other option would lead to much worse consequences than a muscle strain or hurt pride. Who are you angry with? Liliana was standing in front of me and smiled shyly. Nobody really. I answered absently, but my fist gave me away. Just like that. Okay, it's up to you. You better tell me. Why did you run around the camp the whole day with some kind of bags? I had to. I replied reluctantly. I guess it was food. Maybe it was. Liliana was about to say something, but at that moment the bell rang, calling in the pioneers for dinner. I sighed in relief and quickly headed to the canteen, leaving Ilyana behind. Semyon, thank you very much. For what? The cab leader gave me a friendly smile. For the cake, of course. Ah, sure. It was at the exact moment that I understood the true meaning of the saying, keep your hand... Thanks to feed your cat. What? You didn't tell anybody. This ought to be a surprise. Yeah, that's my boy. What? And now off you go to dinner. Olga, the Dmitrievna, waved her hand, pointing at the canteen. Stop